This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So good morning team in this Azure Data Engineer Master Program. In today's session, we will talk about event-based trigger in Azure Synapse. Okay. What is event-based trigger team? What is event-based trigger?
When a file is uploaded or deleted, when any specific event happens, then it will trigger the pipeline.
Where these events can happen? What all things are going to support for the event-based trigger?
File system like blob and ADLS.
Okay. So not all the file systems team, it supports only blob and the data lake storage. Okay, remember that. Event-based trigger means whenever file arrived or file deleted from the blob or data lake storage, it is called the event. So whenever such events happened in the file system, so we are going to trigger our pipeline. So we already learned this in the Azure Data Factory, but in Azure Data Factory it's very straightforward. We don't require any permissions on the storage account and all. But here we need extra permissions on the storage account and all. Whenever some file arrived into the blob, in order to recognize by Synapse and to read that file from that folder, we need a permissions on the storage account, but in ADF it is not required, but in Synapse it is. We need a permissions. We will see that. Okay, we will learn what is trigger and types of triggers in Azure Synapse, what is event based trigger in Azure Synapse, copy multiple files from blob storage to ADLS Gen 2, scenarios, today lab question and answers, prerequisite record resources, hands-on and assignments. So what is triggers and types of triggers? So very similar to ADF in Synapse also we have three types of triggers in Azure Synapse. Triggers are used to execute pipelines automatically based on specific conditions or schedule. Synapse supports three types of triggers very similar to ADF: event based trigger, schedule trigger, tumbling window trigger. Schedule trigger we already used, event based trigger we are going to discuss. Tumbling window trigger, you can just try out whatever we have done in ADF. Very similarly, tumbling window trigger you can able to use it for prehistorical data loads or incremental loads you can able to achieve. Because last point is invalid team, so that is changed now. That's why I'm not discussing that. This is what we no need to discuss that, because for tumbling window also we have a many to many relationship. So one pipeline can have a multiple uh, tumbling window triggers. Similarly, um, similarly, one pipeline can have multiple tumbling window triggers. Very similarly, one tumbling window trigger can be used in multiple pipelines. So that's why that one-to-one relationship and all I'm not discussing, because that is earlier 2 3 years back it was like one pipeline can have only one tumbling window trigger that you can't use anywhere else. But now the approach is totally changed. Now the futures has changed. Now you can have as many tumbling window triggers as you want on a pipeline. One tumbling window trigger can be used in a multiple pipelines. Now, where we will use this event-based trigger. So, data integration scenarios often require Azure Synapse customers to trigger a pipeline based on events, such as arrival or deletion of the files in their Azure storage account. So, we want to run our pipeline whenever file is arrived or deleted. In such cases, we can able to use this event-based. An event-based trigger runs pipelines in response to events like the arrival or deletion of the files in Azure Blob Storage. Azure Synapse is now integrated with Azure Event Grid. But exactly how this event-based trigger is working? Okay, we have a background process called Event Grid. Okay, Azure Synapse is now integrated with the event grid, enabling pipelines to be triggered based on these events. This event grid is helping to run the pipeline whenever some event is occurred. That's why What are the prerequisites, team, in order to do the event-based trigger lab? What are the prerequisites, team?
We have to um, activate this event grid subscription.
Very good. In the subscription, we must have to register this event grid. Okay, next.
We
That's
need
it.
the storage account.
Yeah, we need a storage account and all or the services that we need. But the prerequisite is in order to achieve this lab, you must have to register event grid within your subscription. Okay. Azure Event Grid allows you to respond to events happening in various Azure and non-Azure services in a near real time. Okay, very straightforward. Overview diagram. Whenever blob storage or data lake storage file is arrived or file is deleted, we will be running our pipeline. What is event based trigger? Trigger pipelines in response to events such as file creation or deletion in a storage service. Details. Integrated with Azure Event Grid, allowing triggers to be fired based on events from services like Azure Blob or Data Storage. Only these two services are supported. It is useful for scenarios where you want to process data immediately after it's uploaded or modified. What is the use case, Tim? If you have a requirement where you want to process the data as soon as the data is available, then you can go for event-based trigger. Two common event types is blob created and blob deleted. Event based trigger works for blob created, blob deleted. Example, automatically running a pipeline when a new file is uploaded to a specific storage container. Okay, see this is how it is going to work still. So user will upload the file into blob storage. Now blob storage will be monitored by the event grid. Event grid gets some event. Hey, some file is uploaded. Now event grid calls the Synapse pipeline. Okay. So when it is called the Synapse pipeline, what we will do? So this particular event grid can also supply what is the file, okay, and in which folder it is coming. So all those details will be given. So it will take those details, it will copy the data into the target. Understood, Tim? This pipeline will consume those details, what is the folder, what is the file, and it will read the content of that file. Pipeline will read that content of the file and it writes into the target. Okay, clear? Are you all clear, team? Anybody have any questions? Scenarios: how to trigger pipeline when new file uploaded into Azure storage account. How to trigger pipeline on file deleted from Azure storage account. How to avoid running pipeline when file size is 0 bytes in Azure storage account. How to copy data from blob to ADLS. How to use event triggered captured properties. Anybody remember event triggered captured properties? At the rate trigger dot I think folder name, file name. Okay. Now key points, if you see, make sure that your subscription is registered with the event grid resource provider. If you are not registered, you will not be able to succeed. Event triggers currently supports only Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 and general purpose version 2 storage account. Remember that. You must have at least owner access on the storage account. You should have a owner access on the storage account. Azure Synapse only supports a maximum of 500 event triggers per storage account. Okay, Azure Synapse only supports a maximum of 500 event triggers per storage account. Team, remember that. How to use event trigger capture properties? See trigger.outputs.body.folder path, trigger.outputs.body.file name. This is one way. The second way is trigger body.folder path, trigger body.file name. So any of these you can able to use. maybe you can able to use this combination, you can use this combination, anything you can able to use to capture the folder where the file is uploaded, file what is the file which is uploaded. Okay, I'll be using one blob storage and data lake storage, right? Source is blob, target is data lake. So I'll create two linked services, two data sets. We'll use copy active on pipeline and the Azure IR I'll be using for today lab. So already you know all the components of Synapse and blob data lake. Required resources are blob storage, ADLS Gen to Azure Synapse team. So Azure Synapse ADLS Gen I'll create along with Azure Synapse. We no need to create anything explicitly. Implement event-based trigger with ADLS Gen using Azure Synapse. I am explaining with the blob. You need to do the lab with the data lake Gen assignment. Okay. Okay. Go to Synapse Analytics. First, let's create a Synapse. Click on Create Synapse Analytics. Just a minute. Okay. Go to Storage. Okay. Sorry, Synapse Workspace. Then click Create Synapse Workspace. Resource group is this. Name of the workspace is Cloud Pandit -dev Synapse Workspace. And data lake name I'm giving is Cloud Pandit Synapse ADLS. File system name is Global. Okay, tip. So subscription is the resource group. These all things I have given. Security password I don't want. Click review plus create. Okay, once you create a Synapse, go to blob storage team. Just go to storage accounts. Click on create storage account. Cloud Pandit Dev Blob. Okay, then just click on review plus create. Click create. Now come to next tab. I want to show you, because very careful observe here. Few things you need to verify, because very common I have seen this particular issue in many of the uh, like many people reported same issue. That's why you have to careful observe. Go into the subscription team. Once you go into the subscription, then what you need to do is you need to go to settings, resource providers. In this resource providers, what you need to do first, event grid. Okay, see, event grid is registered. After that, make sure you also search for data factory. See, data factory is registered. Search for synapse. Synapse is registered. Okay, so actually those will be registered, but data factory, some people directly practicing this. So data factory, for some people it is not registered. You have to just select this, click on register to register the data factory. Okay, now once the prerequisites are completed, now you need to wait for the Synapse to be available to test the your event based trigger. Okay, just wait for 2 minutes. I'll be back so that you can see. Meanwhile, Synapse also will be. Go to resource now. Okay. Just click on open Synapse Studio team. So already you know the things. That's why I no need to discuss everything in detail. Just to go to linked service. So we need a two linked services. Already we have a linked service for data lake. Now let me create a linked service for blob storage. Okay. Blob storage. Test connection to create it. Next, come to integrate. Directly let's create a pipeline team. Okay. Now very careful observe. First thing what I'm doing as part of this pipeline is two pipeline parameters I'm creating. One is for container, one is for file, sorry. One is for folder path folder, one is for the file. Okay. Now what we wanted to do, bring the copy data activity. So what we want to do, Tim, we want to copy data from blob to data lake. Just click on new data set for blob as a CSV, DS for blob, linked service you can choose. Now I want to parameterize this folder and a file. See, like normally whatever we have learned as of today, we create a container and a folder. So container will give here, folder will give here. So but today we created a two parameters. Those are not a container or folder. Instead it should be container and a file. So meaning the folder path should be given here, the file name should be given here, not here. Understood? Some people will select a file name here and says I'm getting error. Yes, you will get a error if you select file here. File name should be here. If anything like main folder, subfolders, anything you need to adjust within these two boxes. Okay. Now click OK. Open this data set. Create two parameters. DS parameters. These are data set parameters for folder, data set parameter for file. Okay. Come to connections. Folder I am selecting here. File I am selecting here. Okay. Now come back to the pipeline one. See here, I created a data set for blob and with the parameters. Now I am selecting these parameters. Pipeline parameters. See PL param values I am assigning to the DS param data set. This is a file, this is a folder. Okay, pipeline parameter values I am assigning to the data set parameter. Pipeline parameter file uh, like file name I am assigning to the dataset parameters. Now come to sync. Click on new data lake star gen 2 as a CSV, DS for ADLS gen 2. Linked services this. I want to parameterize this also. Open this data set. Create a two parameters. Team here also DS param for folder and DS param for file. Come to connections. I'll give here as a global. Here I'll give the thing as concat of India slash landing or you can say bronze slash the folder may be customer or employee, anything we may get. Now file name should be given here, clear. For example, you think of a From cust folder I have uploaded a cust.csv. Now what happens, from cust folder cust.csv will be picked from the source. It will be saved under global slash india slash bronze slash cust slash cust.csv. That's how it is going to create the folder structure. Okay, come to pipeline one. So this is the source, right? Now I am going to the sync. Click on this ds param for folder, right? So you need to pass the pipeline parameter values to the dataset parameter. Here also pipeline parameter value I am assigning to the dataset parameters. So this is how you need to design your pipeline. Anybody have any doubts? Anybody have any doubts, Tim? No doubts? Okay. First thing what I'll just go to blob storage, access control IAM, add role assignment. These things not required in ADF, but here we need. Okay. Go to privilege administrator, select a owner, select members. So cloud pandit dev synapse workspace. Let's give, maybe let me give my ID also. Click next. Click allow users to assign all roles. Click next. Review plus assign. So if enough permissions are not available, we'll see what to do. But let's say now I have added everything. Now let me create a trigger. New slash edit trigger. New trigger. Trigger for event based. This is storage events. Subscription is this. Storage account name is dev what team dev blob. Container name is all containers. Yeah, let it be for now. And I want to pick only the .csv files. Okay. Now, whenever file is created, I want to respond. Ignore empty blobs. Don't ignore empty files. Even empty files also it should copy. Okay. Click OK. And event trigger properties. So what you will do is event body dot event based. Oh, sorry. It should be trigger body dot dot folder path. Search like this. Here trigger body dot folder path. Trigger body dot file name. So this is how you can able to get these things. You can put it here. Click OK. Then publisher. Click publish. It is just a publishing team. Let's wait. Okay, it is published, right? Now you can go to event trigger new slash edit, click on trigger and see, okay, trigger is working fine. whatever permissions we have granted, that is working fine. Okay, now let's test this. Okay, come to storage account. This is a blob storage, right? In the containers, now I'll create a container called customer. Go inside customer, let's upload. So what we can do is let's upload some data. I uploaded the file. Let's go to monitor tab and see. See, tr underscore event based trigger is working fine or not? Is it working fine or not, Tim?
Yes.
Yes, you see, it is a pipeline name is pipeline 1 triggered by, this is the triggered by. Now this particular file is copied into the target. You can see what is the values it passed. Customer is the folder and cust2.csv is the file. But when it comes to the data lake, how the data lake is going to consider, you can see here under global folder, India folder, bronze folder, here folder, the actual blob storage folder is created here. Under this folder you see cust2.csv file is created at 6:45 seconds. Now I'll go here. Okay, I'll upload, maybe let's say I'll create a employee folder here. Go inside employee. Now I am uploading first 0 byte file. What happens to me if I upload 0 byte file? Are we ignoring? Are we not ignoring?
We are not ignoring.
We are not ignoring, right? So pipeline should run for the 0 byte file. Yes, you see here 0 bytes.csv pipeline is running. Now I'll come back. I'll upload a two files, employee 1 and employee 2. If I upload two files at a time, what happens to him? What happens to event based trigger if I run it two, like if I upload two files at a time?
Be two triggers.
Hmm?
It the two pipelines will run.
Correct. Same pipeline runs twice.
Oh yes, yeah.
See here, this is for the employee 2.csv, this is for the employee 1.csv. Okay, and now go to integrate. You see here, EMP folder. See all the files, employee 1.csv, employee 2.csv, 0 byte.csv file you have here. The next thing is I am going to upload a Parquet file here. What happens to, what happens if I say, if I upload a Parquet file here?
It will not run because we gave CSV.
Okay, let's see. Okay, but let's see pipeline is running or not. Come here. See here, you don't have a run. You don't have a run. Meaning for Parquet files, run is not happening. Now I want to go to pipelines. I want to create one more pipeline now. Just this pipeline, I'm not doing much. Maybe you can think of just wait activity. Okay. Now I want to attach the same trigger. Okay, I'm just attaching the same trigger. Click OK. Click OK. Now publish all. Click publish. Okay. Now what happens to me if I upload a file? Maybe I am creating a orders folder. Go inside orders, upload, browse for files, credit underscore salary.csv. Oh, sorry. Instead of order file, I uploaded this. That is okay. But tell me how many pipelines will run now?
Now two pipelines will run.
Two different pipelines are going to run. Correct? You see here, orders folder, credit underscore salary.csv. It is copying, and pipeline 2 is already succeeded. Who called the pipeline to same trigger? You can see same trigger. Okay. Now what I will do, I'll go back to here. You have an opportunity to go to triggers. You can click on this trigger. You can mark this trigger status is stopped. You know what happens when you mark the trigger status is stopped? Anybody aware what happens if you mark the trigger status as stopped?
I think even if we upload the file, it will not trigger the pipeline.
That's correct. You are making the trigger to inactive. Okay. In sometimes you want to pause the trigger not to run for few days. Okay, due to some other issues or whatever reasons. So that's in such cases go to manage triggers, click on trigger. Instead of started, you mark it as a stopped and publish it. Now I want to create a one more trigger. Click on new slash edit trigger. Can I create a multiple triggers on same? Okay, first thing, after disabling, let me test it. Orders dot order one dot csv, order two dot csv. Click upload. See orders one dot csv, orders two dot csv. Now come here, go to monitor tab. You see pipeline is not going to run. We can wait for some 1 minute or 30 seconds. You can see pipeline is not going to run. Why? Why pipeline is not running, team? We have
Triggering is
trigger
stopped.
finished. Yes. Trigger is trigger status is stopped, or you can say trigger is inactivated. Now come back to the pipeline. Now I'll create another trigger on top of this. Let's say park it, dev blob, maybe all contents dot parquet files only, it has to respond whenever blob is created. Okay, ignore empty blobs. Yes, click OK team. So you can say here file name, folder, folder path. Okay, click OK. Now publish ultim, click publish. Yeah, it is published now. Let's go here. I'll create a new folder, user data. Under user data folder, let's upload teams, browse for files, Parquet files, right? So we need a so go to set of Parquet. So take two Parquet files. Let's upload them team. See here, pipeline one. Is it running? Pipeline one is running twice with the help of the event Parquet. Okay, event Parquet. Now if you click on this parameter, you see this is basically running for the Cloud Pandit underscore Parquet one dot Parquet. So this is running for Cloud Pandit underscore Parquet two dot Parquet.
What is the Parquet file and why we are uploading that one?
Why we are?
Uploading the Parquet file.
No, that is for testing. Any format of the files you can able to upload to run the pipeline. Event based trigger works for any files, not
Okay.
only CSV, right?
Yes. Yeah.
What I have created in this in the triggers, if you see event Parquet, here I said in any of the container, if the file blob extension is dot Parquet, then only you respond. That's why it is responding. For example, I'll go here now. For let's say I'll just upload within the same folder. Let's say I'll be uploading a CSV file. Do you
Hello,
think
audio.
anything now? Now tell me, pipeline is going to run or not?
In the pipeline, you have kept this Parquet, so it should not run.
Everybody, please respond. Tim, will pipeline run now or not?
No, it will not run.
Not
You
run.
can see it will not run because the trigger which is responding for CSV files, that is inactivated. Trigger which is responding for Parquet only active. See here, Parquet event is active. Here normally CSV event based trigger is inactive. Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Now that's why you can see very clearly here event Parquet is the last one, but nothing else ran after we upload the CSV file. And one more important point is sometimes what happens, you want to know the like pipelines which are running through these triggers, right? If you look at this trigger is attached with these two pipelines, click on this related to see what all pipelines this trigger is working. Okay, on what all pipelines this particular trigger is attached, you can see here also this Parquet with what all pipelines it is attached, pipeline one. Clear all of you? Now let me show you the final case. I'll create a pipeline 3 with the same wait activity, or I can also use a delete activity here to delete the file stream. Sorry, you are not going to delete, right? So already files are going to be deleted. So this is a wait activity to wait for some 30 seconds stream. Click on add trigger, new slash edit trigger, new trigger I am creating, trigger for event deletions. Okay, to test the events, delete events. Subscription is the storage account is dev block. Contain arrays. Let's say customer. Okay. Only I want to respond for .csv. Whenever blob is deleted, whenever file is deleted, I want to run this pipeline. Okay, are you getting, team? Instead of blob created, I marked as a blob deleted. Ignore empty blobs. Don't ignore empty blobs. Even empty file is deleted, please run this pipeline. I'm saying click continue, click continue, just publisher. Are you all clear on this? Are you all clear on this, team?
Yes, understood.
Yes, yes.
Now the publishing is completed, I think. No, it is not completed publishing. Yeah, now it is completed. Come to close. Now go to customer because we pointed only to the customer folder, correct? So in the customer folder, oh my god, only one file is there. Okay, so I'll delete this one file. Come here. Let's see. See, tr underscore event delete. Is it running or not? Yes. Now, anyhow, that event trigger one is basically inactive, right? So this one, even if I uploaded 10 different files, nothing will happen here. Okay, let's say I'll upload 0 byte file and maybe transaction one, transaction two files, but nothing will happen when you upload because the triggers, this trigger is created to respond whenever file is uploaded, but currently it is inactive, it is not responding. This responds only for the deleted files. This responds only for the parquet files under user data folder. Not user data folder, I think all containers I selected. Okay, fine. Now what happens, team, if I delete it? See, this is a 0 byte. First thing is, after I upload, if you go to monitor tab, you see nothing is running. Only one file which we deleted in the customer folder that is responded and it made the pipeline to run. Now the thing is, if I delete this 0 byte file, what happens, team? Do you think it will consider run once again? Yes. Yes. You can see one more time. Clear. Now my question to all of you is what happens if I delete two files at a time?
Then also it will run.
How many times?
Two times.
Okay, same pipeline is going to run two times. Okay, clear, right? Why this is taking this much time? 56 seconds duration. Okay, fine. Come here. Now let's delete these two files. Team. See it, team. So event delete is running twice. Okay. Yeah. That's all about the Synapse event based trigger. I have shown you extra permission, owner permission I have granted. So that is what you need to, extra permission you need to grant. I mean ADF, if you go back and see the recording, we have not granted any permissions. Only for the Synapse we required additional permissions. That is what we have granted. Okay. Yeah, that's all for today from my end. If you have any questions, please let me know for today, team.
Is yesterday class was happened?
Yes, yes. We had a class. I have not shared the recording. I'll share today's recording and
Okay,
yesterday recording both.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Thank you.
Any other questions too?
Yeah, I have a question. So, if we have different files, then we have to create like uh,
Yes,
different
multiple
triggers.
triggers we need to create. Yes.
So
If you
if we
want to,
leave the path ends field blank, will it not work?
no, it will not work.
Star. Okay.
It will not. Okay.
Okay. And in which scenarios we will use deleted trigger? Like generally, for
So
created with.
now, generally, we won't use this option in real time. But if you want to really use, the real use case will be like this. You want to send a notification if anybody is deleted file from the production. Okay. So then what you can do is you can create a one trigger with all containers. Okay. Maybe see, generally we maintain all our data in the Parquet or CSV, something like that, right? So we can mark them, and we can put a notification. So what happens whenever this notification pipeline is sending a notification means some file is deleted unexpectedly, okay, by mistake. So what we can do, we can review that file. If that file is by mistake deleted, we can able to recover it, because normally we have a uh, what is that, the names I did not remember. There is something called data protection, right? So we have by default 7 days, but in real time we have 30 days or 60 days we will put it. Meaning when file is deleted, it will not be deleted directly. It will be soft deleted. Later, if you want to retain it back, you can able to get it back. If you don't want, you can. It will be deleted after 7 days automatically. See
Okay. Yeah.
deleted blobs. Okay.
Malaya, can we see the details like who deleted it and all?
What, Pavani? Come again.
Can we see the details like who deleted the file and all?
Who deleted this file, right? I'm not very sure. Can we see those details? No, these details are not available. Who deleted? But if you are using a delete activity to delete, you can able to log that. But if somebody's, these are manual deleted files, right? So these are manual deleted files. We are not having any details. If you are using some delete activity to delete, you can capture the logs. Okay. Maybe where you can see these details is, go to, one second, activity logs. Maybe I think here you should be able to see. I think those details even not captured here. Okay, I'll check is there a way to identify who deleted the files. But currently we don't have that details. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, Tim? Yeah. Anybody have any other questions, Tim? Okay, Tim. If no questions, then thank you all. That's it for today.